Side by side, Dunkley lurking at the same time as Heaney. Umpire will sort it out again with another. The 2 second rucks, Amadi and Ford. Jordan was good, gave to Amadi, missed it, and the umpire said ball. Rayner Barrams for the Saints last year, so wasn't able to get into that 18 all that often. Neale, the crumb, Starcevic. Sun's floated on a beautiful afternoon, and it's come down to this. Heaney, Dunkley, Neale gets a touch.
Forward from the Eagles, Berry. Off to Lachie Neale, held to 10 touches last week. He had 2 in the first 2 minutes, 8 for the rest of the game.
I think he'll be a defensive mid and he'll play and you'll watch him support defence throughout the entire day.
Williams wins the hit out. Here's Lachie Neale right on cue, gets a hand pass away. Harley Reid can't collect cleanly. And Answorth wins it for the Lions. Hand pass back to Neale. It's been busy very early here after quad.
Right option.
That's great work from Fletcher. He's the defensive winger, drop back into the spot.
And what about the releasing kick to Lachie Neale? Now he's got loose players everywhere.
Yeah, kicks down to half forward. Ryan the target. Answorth gets it off his knees. To Neale. Hurried kick forward, works out.
Really leading from the front, Baker, so far. And the co-captains for the line.
Here's Dunkley out of the centre square, gets the clearance. Neale at the drop. They're busy today.
So this is the West Coast Eagles just working much harder away from this stoppage and just belting Brisbane at that aspect of the game.
Day knocks it out to Neale, who shoots goalward, squeezes it through traffic. One from the champ. Tabs it short to McCluggage. Down to half forward, Neale's on. He's running downhill, never breaks stride, kicks it to the goal square. Archie and Bailey. Bailey's got it.
The reigning champs have given the Eagles a 24-point lead. Can they rein them in this?
Dragons at under 18s level. First one to ever do it. To Andrews. Heads up the wing. Here's Neale. Keeps it moving. And a high half forward. Archie.
6 behinds to the West Coast Eagles in this quarter.
3-goal quarter for Kel Archie. Service for Neale in the middle. Hand pass releases Wilmot.
Someone like Oscar off his legs.
Williams subbed out with a leg complaint, and then Archer Reid cramping up. So Jimby's rucking.
Test. Closey, Neale. Little shimmy the hips, goes back in.
Southern side, and the kick goes pretty much straight, doesn't it? Down the middle, aimed at the circles. Lynch and Blight both there to make the contest. But underneath it's a belt at least, but Brisbane dominating out of here thus far. McCluggage off to Neale, and a beautiful kick directed towards. Got all the votes, or maximum votes, I should say. McInerney to Neale, he's starting to accumulate. Goes Fletcher, really thriving now of half-back as they work into some handball chains from Berry to Neale, can cut to the inside, finds out necking, stepped around a couple. It's a short kick to Neale, the handball almost as far. They trust the left, that's a lot of green. He didn't have much height to compete against, but he did have the numbers. And it's Lachie Neale, so low to the ground, so effective the line, but he goes short and sound to McInerney. Back to Neale, quick revision of where he was going to head next. So not the perfect handball. Berry, Neale. There always seems to be a Brisbane player to go to. Payne.
But they're finding the ball in general play and transition.
That's where the Tigers do have experience, isn't it, around the footy? But Archie to Neale. Threatening again, it's Charlie time. Slight misjudgment. Wilmot.
Jesus, did well to get a boot on that.
Yeah, it squirts out to Neale. It quickly goes to work. Smooth build. So quickly out of the stoppage, Neale and Zorko. And the spread, the width from eye to eyes, trying to be creative for the Tigers. But again, they fall down. And again, Neale is amongst the swoopers. Handball back.
It's obviously going black for a home game, yellow for an away. It's an excellent fashion choice.
Colour coding. Along with the captain, of course, and Seth Campbell. Meantime, Neale straight into a snap from Taranto was wiped out. Ross and Neale sensing a chance to get another possession.
And watch this. This is where he goes. That pulls the trigger, bang, inside.
Oh, it's centimetre perfect. It really was a perfect. Doesn't get anything on it. West has had one opportunity. That one smothered Neale. Great hands to pick it up. Gets away from the tackle of Norton. Ducks back a couple of times and really thinks his way out of him. For him not to get the ball. And Neale, big fly from Hipwood and Jones. Lachie Neale starting to get busy in this quarter. Doing Neale things. Perfect answer. Goal of the day for the Dogs. Neale and Liberatore. That is a hard yakka battle. And get it back to McCluggage. There's another go here, Morris. Rory does well with the tackle. Not sure how he got rid of that.
Good to see Lachie Neale back out on the ground.
Dicko, you thought they were doing a hamstring test on Darcy, did you? We'll get back to Ben momentarily. Here's Eric.
Can be in the air.
9 touches for Zorko. There's Neale. Around the corner, dangerously back inside. It's like Dance With Your Mother music. It is horrible.
Well, there was some sort of a draw. Rory McIlroy on the
First to airport car parks and watches planes, almost for a living. Down the throat of Neale.
Neale. McStay front spot. Cameron knocked it down to the ground. Neale back on the ground, gives it off to Dunkley, gives it back to Neale, to McCluggage.
Here they go. Neale's winding up. Beautiful, neat little bullet.
For the year, it's about 59, so defensively, just a terrific performance.
Neale sharks it, gave it. He took the half volley cleanly in the end. Now Neale. Disposal 25. Berry's been awarded the mark.
Standing up to it at the moment.
Marshall trying to be creative. Instead, it falls to Lachie Neale, and eventually something had to give. Wade. Levi Ashcroft. Neale continued to run hard. Handball to Will Ashcroft. Now they generate some run through Hill. Aggressive kick into the corridor. Picked off by Neale. And that is going to be another 50 for just getting on ground. Last time these teams met. Coming up for disposal number 10 for his second goal of the game. He makes no mistake.
Because he handballed it to the ruckman, a metre away, about a second earlier.
Oh, he's gone out. He's gone out.
Get it back to Zorko. And again, the kick to Dunkley. Now they're away. Neale has 3 of them inside 50. Webster had to try and defend all of them. He gave it a... They feed back to Gardner. Doesn't clear the area. Neale. Always so cool and composed and classy.
Ball handling.
Look at that. Got them out of trouble, no problem. The kick to a 1 on Brisbane. Hipwood sees Neale. It worked hard into a pocket of space. Lachie Neale will run out. Has he got the leg?
Kick.
Look at that from Lachie. He's kicked 3 and he's winding back.
In their way through it here, the Lions.
Hands up everywhere from Brisbane players. They're all calling for it. In the end, he chose Lachie.
Close to this range in the third quarter.
He only kicked 4 goals in a game once in his career.
Won't make the goal square.
He pulled the kick.
What a kick.
That was a set point.
Good entry into the 50, so important for the confidence of the kickers going in. Neale from McCluggage, Brisbane's turn out wide. And Sam Dale on ones essentially. Andrews left his man, defended away to ground. Look at Neale, shrewd little handball to Fletcher. Couldn't gather it. Humphrey up in the air, Neale follows up again. Restores order, kicks them inside 50. His error led to the first, bangs it back up to the wing. Fletcher had a good sight. McInerney still spoiling because he had some ground crew, elite ground crew as it was.
So-called protected zone.
Now forward at the centre, they can go in a hurry. Into deeper water, Charlie Cameron!
Having a night.
Suns haven't had a lot of injuries this year either. Ben Long, as we said, an important out tonight going in, but it wouldn't have mattered. X in the middle. Sherry up against McInerney as things get underway. Howe couldn't stop Neale. Forward they go, Cameron. The line, Zerha, Andrews. Beautiful, directed spoil to the front. To Neale, to Cameron, you barely seen the handball. McCluggage, Neale had to reach for it, no matter. Off to our left foot kick, all of a sudden, asking Zerha. Gardner defies that. And Lachie Neale kind of made that up. And he did pretty well with a makeshift kick. Goal and closer to their own. McKercher White, big one-on-one.
That's a great mark in front.
Lachie Neale marks, takes off. Handball to Zorko, off to
Organisation there between May and McDonald on that occasion. He's the third man over the top. Neale, Dunkley, slick.
Throw it up. Big knock away from Johnson. Zorko, strong over the foot. He allowed Neale to pick it up clean. High IQ footballer, no doubt about it. At the back door here is Dunkley. Neale, little chiseler Gardner, who presented up wonderfully with forward power. Here's a man and some great kicking as well. He's probably their best kick, field kick and goal kick. Neale with a spinning pirouette out of the middle, so magnificent.
Morrison Back to Jaff. Kick smothered as he went to go inside 50 and a
free kick for some high contact. And the handball was instinctive because Neale was the voice. Sends it towards Lohman. So the career high easily. Oh, Scrimshaw now didn't have prior according to the umpire. Neale zigging and zagging everywhere. Finally turned around and Morris was still free. Used to combat against much larger opponents, so that was not a problem. Off to Neale, full body kick to Archie to make sure he was able to
lines, and they take it over the top of D'Ambrosio. The turnover comes through Neale to the man that affected the runs it. Hardwick uses the body as he typically does. Back to the Brownlow medalist Neale. He's got Zorko with runners ahead. Whack. Hawks now need a clearance to calm things down. They don't want it back in the hands of Charlie Cameron, which is where it's heading. McClugging the scoreboard at the moment. Now Ward runs out of room. Just gives it straight to Neale. That is unusual and could hurt them the other way. Here come the Lions.
Gunston lost his footing. He lost his feet.
Sam Mitchell just about lost the plot.
You're trying to build on momentum. That could have lifted big time.
Second time. Kenny came over the top. Ainsworth was able to tidy it up out the back. Got it to their superstar and Neale into the middle, and they just... Everything makes sense. Little one out the back door to Darcy Ford. Clever little knock on to Neale. Neale goes boundary side. Neat ball around the corner in McCluggage. She's a bit of a neutral territory boundary throw in here. Goldstein over the top. Lachie Neale fishing below. Quick one comes out. He's there. Wilmot got the little handball out to Ashcroft. It finishes with Neale. Neale from the point of the square. Beautiful ball. Lohman on the lead. Lighted and trying to spur his teammates on. Can the Bombers do it here against the reigning premiers? McCluggage.
Trip the call, take the advantage. Lachie Neale towards half forward. Morris waits for it. Will mop up. On, buries away.
Rankin felt like he was being held. Neale found a way through. Fought. Really dangerous forward on the ground. He's the difference.
O'Brien almost into the path of Keys. Neale was brilliant. Will Ashcroft brings it away.
Forward Smith. He's the one, I reckon, for Brisbane.
Almost O'Brien, Neale, McCluggage.
And you just can't kill. You've got to watch it to the end to see what happens. Neale breaks away, feeds it in. Ash, another mark.
Is aggressive.
9th in the AFL for marks this year. They do give it to him quite a lot. Neale off the spill. He might go for home. Let the superstars show you, boys. That's how you do it. So quick, off and running. 150. Hits Neale, lace out. Over the back, got a couple of options. Morris up. Went with the fist, missed it. Zorko went with the crumb, got it. Gave it to Neale, who mesmerised them. Hit the pause button, went inside the... Andrew's got a fist on it. Thomas, Neale. There we go. Touch play on. Neale against the grain. 2 round of applause. Berry on the back pedal. Neale. She's got the confidence to work it around by Harris Andrews. Ainsworth. Gone up a gear this one. Finals like atmosphere and they had Brisbane cooked, and Brisbane got out of it, won the game, won the grand final. Neale out of the middle to Rayner, and they're threatening.
6% kicking efficiency. Brisbane going at 73 as Neale emerges, waits his kick nicely. Fletcher takes.
It's 9 goals 4 now. The Lions have scored from turnover.
And it is a goal that truly sucks the oxygen out of GMHBA Stadium.
Neale tries to slam his way through Lohman. Lohman just unable to take it after doing some pretty good body work as Neale gets up.
Pass slap down, but Dunkley was there. Zorko. Stanley knocked off it by Neale. He's still got an appetite for it. Ashcroft.
Actually been subbed out, it appears, at the moment, so Hugh Jackson about to come into the game.
It's rotten news for the young man in just his 14th game. An early shower for him. Neale took about last 10 minutes, almost twice as many touches. In that time, they've kicked 5 unanswered goals. And the Premiers with a scary statement here after being challenged early. Dunkley.
There for a while.
Sweet. Wins the hit out. Neale. It's the clearance. Day the target. Morris, goalless so far tonight. And it's 7 different goal kickers. Great off the left. Finds the skipper, Neale.
Somehow, if you can find a balance between the two.
Lachie Neale joins the chat. And the Premiers are doing their bit. Throughout with the Achilles. Neale attacks it at speed to Lohman. Lohman shoots. Got it.
To them when they are within range.
Can they get the next one? They've kicked 4 of the last 5 in the game. Neale trying to change that. Thumps it forward and into the lap of Morris.
Got a hand onto it. Bogut again. Flynn Young just took a step too many. New to the game.
And McInerney are both genuine ruckmen.
Yeah.
Neale went to go inside. Didn't like what he's...
Highest rated game of the season last year against Port.
3-goal lead. Neale going forward. Here's Archie. Hangs on. Just only couldn't get a run at it at all. Been a quiet night for him. Rayner to Neale. Surely that's not the required journey to Bailey. Mistakes. In the middle we go. Hewitt. Picknett's got a bit of work to do here. Dunkley, Neale tidies it up. Bearer. Chincotta. Just too high for him. And Lachie Neale rescues the day. Win, or is it? Are we happy with close and reasonable non-80-point plus performances?
I think if you look, we've rated them against teams that sit 1 and 2 on the ladder that are both playing exceptional football.
Thank you, Kate. Fought down. Neale was brilliant. Berry in the middle of it all. McCluggage worked it out. Berry worked it on. Neale defensive, good hand pass.
Casey, your man, Big O gave it across to Rayner and finished, but that is something out of nothing for the Brisbane.
All the way back to Lachie Neale. He's going to have to fan it to the other side. There is...
And you'd be sensing it as a Western Bulldogs player. We haven't put our best out there, and we're still right in this.
Neale's kick.
Been a target up forward.
Has an 8-1 record against his old team, as most of the Brisbane team players have against the Suns. Lightning hands out of there. Didn't have any means of control. Fought. You can see what he was trying to do. To Archie. Flanders missed it. Hurried, snapping goal was simply sensational. Lachie Neale.
Forward's playing as a forward, so Sam Collins is getting back first.
Yeah, that was a really good call.
7 numbers ahead, all the goals. Swings it to the middle. Tried to give Ainsworth the opportunity. Zorko and Neale, those 2 experienced Brisbane. That second quarter. Mac Andrew thinks it might be time for a run. They've turned the ball over. Can they hurt them? Here it comes. Humphrey with a run up. Oh, he had to contend with Reid in the end. Neale back to Gardner.
Season right to the square. Andrews kept it away from trouble. Neale gets his first look and he doubles up as it comes back to him from Bailey. Finds Archie.
One of them was long, got the run of the race. Handball was blind and straight to Lachie Neale. Archie.
Inboards. Ball loose for Cameron to get hold of. Dunkley the quick release. Up to Neale. Checks it. Hipwood. Look at his second.
The ball. So let's have a look around in the back half. They're all pushing their Collingwood players up into the play. Get it down there, they score.
Cluggage had it, lost it, so he stuck the tackle, and Neale found a way through. Will Ashcroft just had trouble getting...
And they've answered all the questions.
What about the squeeze for the top 2 places now? Neale and McCluggage and Neale. Lovely weighted ball for Rayner.
Since he debuted in the 2022 final series, Neale goes in the Morris direction. Up he goes.
Fought down. Myers over the top. Neale now. Got it off to Fletcher. Fought and Neale and Lester. Well gathered by Starcevic. Neale's been busy. Same can be said for Dunkley. This man's got 3 on the night, been enormous. Neale flicks it to Wilmot.
1 point, so crucial to today's result.
Holding Brisbane, had his advantage.
So a free kick again here for Brisbane, and Neale's away. He's got Reville, gets to him on the bound. His handball a little fierce. Through came Zorko, off to Neale. From 50, Lachie Neale. 3 in a row, Brisbane.
Still lots of time. 15 minutes. Neale, perfection out of the middle.
Today he's had 8. They need his impact.
Here's Neale again. Off to Ashcroft. No way. What is...
That was out of bounds. 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 Can't be.